just find that parents expect so much, and sometimes it just feels like a little too much. Going through university, my first year, I found that it was the idea to be perfect was the way to go. And I couldn't do that all the time. So yes, I did not complete university. And I'm okay to say that I felt very ashamed at first. And I was afraid to tell people. So every time everybody was like, every time everyone was like, what year you are, or where you are, where are you going, what are you doing in the future, and I'm like, oh, I'm in this year, and I'm going through this year, and I'm doing this now, and I was lying the whole time because I was ashamed. But then I realized to myself, that wasn't who I am, and the expectation to be perfect, and the expectation to get good grades, and follow the norm, go get a crazy good job, make a lot of money, get married, have children, live like happily ever after. I found that that wasn't me. So I left school and I decided to put myself first. And with that, I end up working at a great place, and I'm a coordinator now in this retail business. But for me, it was the acknowledgement that doing what everybody else wants to do is not for me. Like, being in school is not for me. Sitting at a desk for the rest of my life is not for me. Having one job for the rest of my life is not me. And when I tell people this, people think, oh, you're going to fail, you're not going to get anywhere, or, like, what are you going to do? Who are you going to rely on? And I'm like, why do I need to rely on anybody? Why do I need to know what I'm going to do? I'm young. I find that, like, you don't need to have everything laid out for you. Like, you're young, have fun, you're going to make mistakes. And I found that that's what I want to do. I believe that following the norm of what society wants is not always the way to go. I don't believe in the norm. I don't think the norm should be such a big thing. I believe being different and following your own dreams, and even if you don't have any dreams, but follow what your heart says or what your gut does, I feel like that's the way to go. Like, I believe in the idea of hope and taking that leap of faith. And for me, dropping out of school, not telling my parents, was the biggest leap of faith I could ever take, really. And they were very disappointed, and because they come from a different time than I do, and their parents obviously were very strict compared to how they are now, they didn't understand, and they thought I was crazy and that I was throwing my life away. But sitting down and saying, this is not what I want, and letting them take that sadness and that misunderstanding and give time to them to maybe, like, rethink or whatever was the way to do. Like, they still, don't get me wrong, they're still like, what are you doing? Like, what do you do now? Where are you going? You're this age, you've been out of school for a while. It's like, I'm happy where I am. For me, it's more about the idea that as long as I have food on the table, as long as I can provide shelter, I can feed myself, and anything else I need, as long as I can do that, I'm happy. Like, for me, it's more about the simple things. I'm not saying to people, drop out of school, follow your dreams, go backpacking through Europe, or go just do whatever, get a random job. I'm not saying that. I'm saying follow your path to a certain extent. Like, if you want to be adventurous, go ahead. But if you see something about being adventurous that will lead in your future, do that. Like, for me, my parents were confused. I left school and decided to start YouTube. And to be honest, like, I've only made 2 videos, so this is going to be a long time since this third video is going up. But I've been working full time, so it's very hard for me to get this going. But it's something that I feel comfortable in. Like, I got to a point in school that I felt very depressed going. I felt like being a lawyer wasn't for me anymore. Like, I burnt myself out in high school, and then going to school in a bigger, like, going to a bigger school and a more prestige thing, it was like, really, can I do this? Like, waking up every day thinking, am I happy? And then it was like a light bulb. It was like a ding situation. And with that, like, I don't know, I felt this relief that the moment I left school, it was a weight lifted off my shoulders, and I felt more confident in myself. I felt more motivated to do something. It was like the world was open for me, and I had so much more opportunity. And I was I don't even know. Like, I was just considering different things I can do. And to be honest, right now, I still don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life. I don't know if I want to go back to school and pursue a career in being a lawyer. I don't know. Maybe I'll go to college one day. But right now, it's more about finding myself. I feel like I'm at a time in my 20s that this is a good time to just go out in the world, experience new things, explore new things, acknowledge new things, and find myself. Like, oh my god, that's another, like, find myself. Me not knowing exactly who I am or what I want in life and what I need personally in life, from emotions to physical to everything, I feel that this is the time to do that. And I'm just saying to everybody who watched my video, I feel like you guys should take that in. It doesn't matter if you're 20, 30, 50, 60, 10 years old. There's no better time than now to just step back and look at yourself in the mirror and be like, is this what I want to be? Is this who I am? Is this what I need for myself, for my life, for my emotional, psychological, like, is this what I need? And if you question yourself and you can't answer right away and say, yes, I'm good, then you need to step back and rethink everything you have been doing. What makes you happy and what does not make you happy? Is it doing something else random? Like, is it being with animals or working at a company, a random company, and working your way up to the top? Or is it being in school? If none of those are the answers, and if school is maybe not the answer, or living in this particular place, or dressing this way, or looking this way, or acting this way, then you need to start to limit yourself, in a sense of cut things out that bother you. Focus on yourself. Tell yourself that you are important, that you need to find yourself, that this is who you want to be. Tell yourself that perfection is not always going to happen, because there is no such thing as perfection. And I find that is the hardest thing, even for myself, and I still struggle with that, is the idea that I cannot be perfect. And expectations are good in some aspects, but you can't be perfect. You can't be perfect in everything you do. So step back, look at yourself in the mirror, and tell yourself, where do you want to start? Let's have a new beginning, and let's begin a new journey, a new chapter in your life. And that's where I say you start over. You limit everything, you go through everything, what makes you happy, what doesn't make you happy. If friends make you depressed or angry, or a certain friend does this, they're not your friends. Because what friend would want to make you sad? What friend would want to see you suffer, see you upset? You want to hang out with positive people. You don't want to follow the norm. If you have friends that you look at them and you're like you have a great life, you're doing this and that and this, you're making money, you're doing what everybody expects you to do. If you don't see yourself being that person, then you're like me. You don't need to follow the norm. You make your own norm. You make your own norm. That's what I'm going to leave it at. You make your own norm. You're different. You want to follow your own dreams. You want to be adventurous. And that's where I'm taking, and that's, no, I'm not going to say that. The expectation to be perfect and to have everything lined up in a path of where you're going is not the reality. I know I'm not some guru at life or some expert at anything, to be honest. I'm just doing this. I left school. I'm working my way up to a top in a company, making YouTube videos, writing a blog. And for once in my life, even though I'm still young, I'm only in my 20s, I feel happy. I feel very content with my life. I feel like everything has finally just stopped. Obviously not completely, but more metaphorically, just stopped in a way that I can catch up with my life. I felt like before everything was just going full pace and I was just way behind. And now I feel like it's slowly just life and myself are matching up, and I couldn't be more happy with my life. Just to conclude this, all I want to say is, if you feel the same way and you're confused with life and you feel like there's just too much expectations to be perfect and to know where life is heading you, comment below and we can definitely have a chit chat and we can talk about this and see where, maybe I can give you ideas of where you could see yourself. And just remember that it's not all about following the norm of society. It's not always about being the next big shot. It's about how to make yourself happy for the rest of your life. You can't rely on anybody else to make yourself happy. You can't rely on anybody else to give you expectations. You need to have your own expectations, your own goals. And sometimes even having those two things let alone might not be the best. Just go day by day, and maybe one day something just pops into your mind, and then that will be what is for you. And hopefully then you will start to realize where life is going to go. But for now, just focus on yourself, love yourself, tell yourself that perfection, being perfect is not the way to go. As it says on my back, the quote I found one day on Google, love is louder than the pressure to be perfect. And it's written on my back, and I follow that every single day. And hopefully you guys can. So for now, we're going to have more, for now that's going to be it, but, okay, for now, that's going to be it, but we will have more talks about this. If you guys have any questions or things you would love for me to talk about, as I'm more of like a one-on-one talking situation, just comment below and I will also talk about stuff that you want to hear my opinion or what I believe. Other than that, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and you can follow me on Snapchat, and you can also visit my blog on www.sincerelylexi.ca. For now, I love you guys. Have a great day, and remember, just love yourself. Bye.